The first time, yeah, and it's more complicated for that and the person.
We're very lucky to have her along, and if I get talking too much and losing track of anything that I'm talking about and need any translation, please just refer to me. We'll try and keep everything as valuable as possible. In the time you need anything needed, please just ask. So a little housekeeping as well, just on Zoom. So we do have a speaker and video recorder just for online purposes. People are able to call in and log in. So we'll be hosting one of these meetings every quarter, so every 3 or 4 months. So if you ever are unable to attend, we'll make sure there's an online option at all times so you can call in from your house or anything. Perfect. Full faith that you'll be happy to interrupt me. So we do have a little agenda for today that we'll just be going over, mainly just to steer the conversation of the topics that we need to touch up for the stay, basically. But at any point in time, this is a totally open conversation and discussion. So let's just straight away. Don't need to wait. So and so we'll start with a bit of an overview of what the administrative program is by Professor Pritchard, who's been brought on, what we're doing with Vista, but where funding comes from, lots of bits and pieces like that of the program. Then we'll talk a bit about the community engagement and what that plan is for keeping the community informed of everything that we're going to be working on over the next couple of years. We'll have some updates on the actual water system performance, what's going on with some of the water quality and needs to try and help out with on the actual system. Then also touch on the financial health of the water system, as well as some updates on projects that we have in the future we're looking at, as well as a totally open period just for like plan discussion. So
we're on the agenda page.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're on the next page.
Yeah. So moving forward, we've already touched on introductions. We have a couple other members on our team. Brianna Hardy, she works on our external affairs team. She's online.
Here.
Managed it. Spain. Brianna's been fantastic in helping get a lot of these mailers out to residents and neighbors. All the different update pieces, a lot of those will be coming through beyond. So we have a whole team that is dedicated just to making sure information gets out to you. Then we also have Carissa Johnson, who is handles everything on the accounting side. So we have a whole team as well that's helping make sure all the financials are in order and we keep everything as open book as possible on that side as well. So a bit about Professor Pritchard. We're an engineering consultancy firm, mainly at office in Clovis.
Our largest
office.
Yeah.
Clovis. So we do have 8 offices across California. Yeah. We do have few people, staff that work over in Idaho. Arizona potentially.
We get Tennessee, so yeah, and second biggest office is in Vista, so we're getting close to.
Oh. It's the best.
But we have a whole team of civil engineers, structural engineers, environmental engineers, hydrogeologists, all the environmental specialists, environmental planners, as well as biologists, we have a whole suite of specialists that work with Professor Pritchard. So we help tackle a whole range of issues for public sectors of state of California, their contracts there, as well as private industry. For this particular program we're working under, this is the administrative program. I'm sorry, before that, just realized we do have Dawn White as well from Golden State Water Company. So we do work with a number of subcontractors through our work for the administrative program. Mainly for operations, Golden State Water Company is helping us set up. They're going to be helping out set up all the billing and help manage all those customer accounts. They'll also have an emergency line and go right down and touch on a bit there. So Dawn is their water quality manager. So she is online. I'm sure she says hello. I don't know if you can turn on your speaker there, Dawn, but
Feel free to speak.
Hello, nice to meet everybody.
and then I'm not sure if have any of you met the operator that's come out yet, Peg Magana?
Did I just
que
¿El operador que ha venido a ver los trabajos métricos de agua?
no, no.
So he's come out once a week for the past month.
She's a really track.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But she's the one that notifies everybody.
Sure.
Great.
We might meet Ben at point, just really tall bloke, there wears a big,
Oh, I think I seen.
yeah, so might see him around in his truck. He, conducting sampling, any sorts of repairs, maintenance of the system, but his name's Ben, really friendly fellow, I've worked with him on a few projects in the past. He's a D3 distribution 3 operator as well as a treatment 1 operator, so he's completely certified to work on the Sierra Vista system. He is working with us as another subcontractor, so if you do see him out there, that's. Just a little bit about Morningside Water Company, yeah, so they're a private water company for 90 years across America. They worked with Dawn personally with a number of projects as well, so they're a very water company. They'll be working, as I said, as a subcontractor with us.
Hamish, that would be the company that will be billing them?
Yeah, correct. So they'll be the ones sending out billing notices, account information for applications for setting those accounts as well. But we work closely with them in touch every week, so any communication that's going on between us, we're constant coordination there. And also, I wasn't sure if Joe was gonna be here, but there's another gentleman, Joe who works with Self-Help Enterprises. Yes. Yeah, so I believe they've been helping with the bottled water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joe works with them.
Maybe, yeah. Everything's working in, which is portable water.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Joe has been helping on the bottled water delivery application and funding there. He's gonna be working with us long term on the technical assistance side, which is some of the longer term improvements and funding that's gonna come in, so. He's quite familiar with Sierra Vista already. Sure, yeah, many of you have worked with him before, he said he's to a few meetings. Yeah, he's really great, so we just had a call with him last week, touching base, so he'll be working with us a bit. So I'll touch a bit more, is involved, a little bit. There's diving into the administrative program. So the administrative program is a program that's just recently been rolled out to the state of California. It is entirely grant funded, so it is funded by tax dollars by the state of California. It said it's no cost to any residents. Sorry, B, I wasn't sure if you were that.
El programa este ha sido implementado por el Estado y todo esto dinero del Estado que pone en el programa viene de los colectados de los taxes que es de California. Y eso es lo que nos ayuda, va a ayudar a todas las comunidades como estas para que van a hacer todo el proceso de.
Yeah, so it's a big thing we want to make clear from the get-go that this is grant funded, so. All of us here today, we are paid for by state grant, so this is at no cost to Sierra Vista. There's not gonna be a bill that'll pop up in the future, anything that we pay for. Any money that goes from customer payments, that goes into an account for the system's operations maintenance. That doesn't pay for any of us, so just make sure that is grant funded. We work on a number of projects across California. Personally, have 3 at the moment, as well as a couple more in the pipeline there, so. Professor Pritchard has been brought on as an administrator by the state of California. It basically means that for some water systems that they've seen that have had financial issues, trouble managing the system, operating the system, as well as a lot of contaminant issues that they just haven't been able to manage themselves, because honestly, it's an expensive job and things just keep getting more expensive with the different regulations. They've assigned Professor Pritchard to come in and basically in the interim of a long-term solution, help manage and operate the system.
Nosotros, la compañía nos está pagando por el Estado, so no va a ser ninguno de los pagos por ustedes ni por Sierra Vista. Y todo lo que están tratando de hacer es implementar una solución por 2 o 3 años, like a few years, right? Long term.
Yeah.
So, pero para trabajar todos estos años. para mejorar todo. Ustedes. Sí, para poner todo el sistema son las comunidades que han tenido problemas por implementar su propio sistema y así el Estado ha determinado que otras compañías como la de nosotros va a traer los técnicos, la administración y la van a implementar.
So our current contract is for 2 years to work on it, work with Sierra Vista directly. That may be renewed in the future if we're not at a long-term solution yet, but hopefully our goal is to have a long-term solution at least underway by the end of those 2 years.
2 años en el contrato por ahora. So, todas las metas que van a hacer son prometidas por 2 años.
Ahorita, si empezamos ustedes empiezan el sistema de agua,
Sí.
¿cuánto van a durar para poner los sistemas? ¿Van a empezar este año?
When are they gonna start fixing
Yeah.
the system?
In terms, so we will immediately be addressing some of the short-term things, so such as anything with leaks or minor improvements that need to be done. And we'll be getting into those straight away, sampling.
Chequear el pozo.
El pozo, sí, the well will be tested, right?
Yeah.
The well tested.
Yeah, so we'll be working on that. That's more of a long-term solution. It really is gonna depend on if, say, an entirely new well is gonna need to be drilled,
Sí, vamos a
then that might be
ver.
longer term.
Queríamos saber si había fondos para cerrarlo con malla, con metal, para que estuviera más protegido. El cemento, todo.
If there's funding to make a huge improvement to the well structure to protect it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll take a look at that.
Yeah. I try to get it done, but love that is program now.
So there's a shorter term solution in terms of, say, you need new housing for the well or something like that, that can fall under maintenance costs, we can get that done.
Sí.
Para tratar para cerrar el pozo.
Perfecto.
De hecho, y todo. Pero muchos no tengo atención a eso. Muchos dueños de casa piensan que uno llega a hacer algo diferente, pero estamos haciendo por la comunidad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tú no,
It's like,
tú no dijiste eso,
Perdón,
no dijiste eso.
eso es otro tema. Eso lo podemos discutir. Yo le puedo dar toda la información del condado. Yo tengo todo el condado y se lo puedo pasar a usted. Aquí estamos hablando de un tema de agua potable.
Pero tú nunca dijiste eso, de que estás diciendo ahorita. Tú llegaste tratando otro tema conmigo y hasta me perdiste.
No con ustedes, con todos, con ella. ¿Sabe qué, jefe? Aquí estamos con un tema de agua potable. Si usted
Sí.
tiene eso, como está sorprendido, por las
Sí,
cosas así, podemos discutirlo.
Tú estás diciendo que nadie quiso que esto, tú no dijiste eso. Tú llegaste diciendo que querías comprar el terreno y
Dividirlo. Dividirlo.
lo puedes.
Bueno, después hablamos de otro, de ese
Sí,
tema.
ese es otro
Sí,
tema.
otro tema, pero el
Ya,
tema de
estamos
ahora.
hablando de potable y eso es otro tema que está completamente fuera de-
El tema de ahora es que queremos, por lo menos en este próximo año, van a cesar todos los problemas que hay, obviamente, y tratar el pozo de agua con químicos y cosas así, y se determina
Pues, y hay es que muchos no pagan
que muchos no pagan la cuenta. The biggest issue is that a lot of people don't pay the bill,
Es mucho que
and that's why they're not here. Porque hasta ahora nadie ha sido que le han implementado que tienen que pagar el bill.
por eso.
Sí.
Thing that was out there in the past was adding meters to that. And that was a couple of years ago, that came, so but it's nothing. Like me, since I pay the bill for my resident, I would prefer a meter. Everybody's responsible for their own waste of water.
Yeah.
Because if I waste 10 gallons of water and my neighbor only wastes 4, I want to pay for what I'm wasting.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Mhm.
So, is that a thing that's meters being added to the residents or it's not?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll definitely be something that'll be installed, because the state of California is gonna be mandating that a meter is at every connection, I think it's by 2032, yeah. Now, but we'll be wanting to do it much before then.
Porque está diciendo ella poner unos indicadores.
Sí, pero los medidores van a ser por una tarifa flat, solamente va a tener un solo. So for at least for now, because this is a community that is trying to just focus on improvement, they're just going to put a flat rate. And it is broken in France,
Lo que deben de poner es el que no pague el agua, que se le cierre.
que se la cierre.
Eso es, lo verán que sí la pago.
That's true. That should be, if they don't pay for the bill, it's set up.
Que se recibe esos dos, que se la cierren.
Ahí están tratando de decir eso por años.
Sí.
Por años. So,
Yeah.
nadie hace caso.
So,
Y está tratando de implementar esa ley de que si no ponen tal cosa que se la cierren. Y no hay ningún problema con eso. Sería lo mejor. Pues,
Cabal, cerrado el agua. Varias.
So many people will have their water shut off.
Está.
Y la mitad es como cuántas personas. ¿Cuántas casas?
13 casas.
13 houses.
Y nomás seis, yo supe. A mí ya no me lo dijo, me dijo otra persona. Que desgraciadamente ya no está aquí con nosotros. Que nomás 6 estaban pagando. Nomás 6.
Más 6.
a lo mejor no están por aquí. A lo mejor están aquí ahorita.
So Sandy, out of the 13 households, only about half are paying their water bills. So the good thing about this. Buenas noches, bienvenido.
so we'll chair.
Aquí tengo, sí, para tendencia, su nombre y de correo electrónico, por favor. Y aquí está lo que hemos estado hablando, por favor. Te digo.
No, thanks so much for joining us. Good to have you.
Thank you. Oh, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Ana, mira, hemos hablado un poquito de la agenda, de lo que vamos a hablar, la descripción del programa, la responsabilidad de participación de la comunidad y cómo este sistema de agua se va a mejorar. La compañía, nosotros, todas las personas que están aquí, nosotros contratamos con el Estado o una compañía privada para ustedes, para la comunidad. Eso se puede ver. Esta es la compañía de agua para medir el pozo de agua. Yeah.
So we're gonna get a bill every month from Golden State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
When is that going to affect?
So we're intending to start that in January. So
January?
it would be billed, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be billed retroactively. So you would get the January bill in the beginning of February.
So, and we still pay her our monthly?
So we'll transfer that over. So- John, do we think we'll be ready by January? For the January bill?
Yeah.
coming up?
Yeah, I think we're just verifying the amount of the bill. And then once we establish all the accounts, everybody will get a letter that tells them how.
Yeah. So they'll have an online. Yeah, correct. Each household.
Ella está haciendo esto porque no es mucho más padre. Sí, ella es gratis.
Sí.
Y la gente no entiende que es gratis de lo que ella está haciendo. Yo una vez me enojé con la rentera porque fue cuando estaba el otro señor, pues él le cobraba. Y que no tenía dinero, y entonces por eso sí. Es que ayer vine y tenía renta. Digo, no tenía para pagar el agua. Y le dije, escucha, cuando tú no tengas para pagar el agua, dime, yo la pago. Pero es que él está donando su tiempo, ¿entiende?
So, estas son las funciones del administrador que va a hacer la compañía de nosotros para evaluar el sistema de agua, toda la administración y financiera también, como lo dije. Respuesta de emergencia cuando haya emergencia en su pozo de agua, se lo van a decir a usted, por eso tenemos que pusieron el correo electrónico. Solo tengo que escribir bien.
A mí,
Sí.
me preocupa mandar ella en casa de
Ok. Y tenemos formas para capturarse para poner su dirección y todo.
sí, a ella, de repente, nos lo entregan. Y de repente, están parqueados donde está el buzón. Era no se da. En el cerco quedó más reducido. ¿Ya?
Y el cerco también.
El cerco de ella no se baja, ella tiene, ella tiene un límite para dejar la carta.
Mira, aquí te va a llegar a tu dirección. Ahí. Say that again. All the time, so do you want them to send his bill to his house or wherever he's living?
Yes, so with the water bill, yeah, that will be issued by Golden State. We just need to get those applications for which we sent out in January. We did want to make sure that we had the correct rate that's being used. So that's been a $60 flat.
$60 la tarifa. Yeah. 70. What, what's gonna be the?
We'll continue with the $60 rate. That's what we discussed with water board at the moment, because we just haven't done a proper rate study or evaluation of what the future rate would be. We will be doing a rate study. That'll be one of our functions there, assessing the system, seeing what the real rate would need to be. Luckily, we have a lot of operations maintenance grant funding right now that's able to help pay for a lot of these operations for the system. So that $60 from each resident isn't just going to be the only thing paying for the operator, for anybody that, any lab sampling that gets completed. We'll have extra funding, which we already have in place now, that'll help pay for all that.
La tarifa se va a quedar lo mismo, por ahora, por lo menos por los primeros meses que van a hacer todos los tests del agua, y porque todavía no tienen una idea de cuál va a ser las tarifas que van a implementar. Y lo que van a colectar de cada casa, los $60 ayudan a pagar por los técnicos, los laboratorios, todas las cosas que se van a hacer. Pero la mayoría del dinero ese está pagado por el Estado. Pero it could go up or lower.
It could have I would imagine it would eventually go up, but we wouldn't actually enact that. Sit down, discuss that with the community.
Sí.
Yeah.
Nada va a cambiar en el.
We're not just going to come in and enact some.
Yeah.
crazy
Or
high
where you
rate.
guys thinking to start out, maybe this coming year to
And
put out the system?
Yeah, so this coming year, we'd be enacting the rate. Do you mean making any changes to the system?
Yeah, the filters and.
Yeah, so that'll be coming, I mean, that's a filter, having a POU situation might be a short-term solution that we could potentially put in the future year. We just have to look at our planning system there for the short term, but the future, having either a different source drilled or having it connected potentially to the city, that will be many years down the track, because that takes just an extra amount of time to get the funding package together and get funding from the state for that longer term solution. Yeah.
But I think what he's trying to get at is there going to be a short-term solution to like having somewhat
Pipas y si van a investigar si el pozo está disponible para seguir trabajando en ese pozo, o lo cierran, o si no agarramos agua del distrito. Entonces ya sería otro paso.
So I guess they're interested in potentially using water from a nearby well to support their potable needs. But I believe it's through a different district. I think that's what we.
the Delano district, that's what you're talking about here. But that is a long
Yeah.
determination.
DEC, linear river. City.
ID, right?
¿Cuál es el cosa que está?
Eh, yo he estado tratando de buscar información sobre el pozo donde tenemos una señora. Está muy contaminada el agua. Y había escuchado un programa que querían ponerlo con distrito. Yo fui al condado. Yo estaba viendo el condado. A ver qué podemos hacer para poder. Porque si esos fritos no podemos hacer nada.
What district is that?
El hino,
The irrigation district isn't allowed, isn't able to pay funds because they're not permitted.
yeah, different than los fields.
Yeah, it's irrigation. Yeah, solamente la agricultura. So, eso no es la.
Because yearly, lately, we've been, I think the last 2, 3 years, we've been getting charged for the Delano district. Is that?
Charge like every 6 months.
Pero eso solamente se tiene en granjas, que están usando agua de irrigación, ¿verdad? ¿O no?
No.
They've been receiving an assessment.
I think they're part of the irrigation district, so
Yeah,
they should be taxed for it, they're not paying service.
but it
That's
doesn't,
what it's for.
it's not like Kuwait Basin where it's just for growers, right? If they're irrigating.
You're
So, si usted no está recibiendo agua de ese distrito y tienen esos bills, ¿por qué no los deben pagar?
No.
Tienen que salirse de eso y decirle que usted.
Ya calamos, pero ellos es el condado, pero y no, ya ella tiene la propiedad aquí y no están con
So, tú tienes propiedad en el distrito donde.
And they're giving you water?
No,
And she will,
Okay.
We'll get to that.
because I think we got a board here. Oh, I can mail it to you guys.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Heather has contact.
Yeah, so some of our agriculture engineers in our base office, they work with their districts that are here. So they'll understand what the assessment is for.
Yeah.
Assessment. Yeah. And potentially, it's a way for us to help you detach from the irrigation district, so it's not assessed any longer. Some of those assessments are for all parcels though. So-
Yeah, it's for all, but we have another property here down the street
Mhm.
and we pay 100 and something.
You still pay on that. Yeah,
The assessment for 2 years.
yeah, it's one of the things we do. And temporary solutions are also one of the things we'll look into to try to understand if there's a good temporary solution that's eligible to be funded by the state or more by the term solution.
So those short and long-term solutions will be a big part of what we're looking at as the administrator. Over to the next slide for you, just a few more of the functions that we worked on. We touched on the financial management, rate study, operations and maintenance. Yeah, and then eventually we'll look at a post-administrative plan. So we'll have long-term planning for when Provost and Pritchard will step back, and Sierra Vista will then have a long-term solution in place. At the moment, it's looking, I'm sure a lot of you were part of I think it was a letter of intent or a letter of support in 2017 of connection with the city of Delano. So that's a big long-term solution that they're looking at, connecting the system into the city so that then you'll just have that city supply as well. But we'll be working on that long-term solution in the background and keep you updated as well. But that's, as you kind of imagine, Provost and Pritchard, like top of the umbrella of a lot of these subcontractors that will be working system. So to get into specifically, we'll move on to the next slide there. 13. So why was here?
Después de tomar las decisiones de todo el mundo, puede saber todo.
Why was here?
Signo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So Sierra Vista was assigned PNP as administrator specifically because of the water contaminants that you're obviously aware of, the nitrates, and then there's a 3 TCP being an issue there, as well as just managerial and financial issues that we've talked about already. As I spoke about before, the state assigns an administrator when the system is shown to not be moving towards any long-term improvement there, and then also just when it's come too expensive for a small community to manage. So they bring in grant funding, us funded by grants, and able to provide specialists and everyone to for the system and get back into compliance, do everything back. So go next slide on the goals of the administrative program. So as our goals, we've already spoken about this a little bit, but it's at the end of the day, we want there to be safe drinking water in the community, that you can have potable water that's coming through lines, don't have to be relying on bottled water or anything. That's the short and skinny of long term there. We also want to have public engagement the entire time throughout the project. So we want to make sure that we're informing you all the time of all the work we're doing and keeping you clearly involved. We will be hosting quarterly meetings, as I said here, so we'll be keeping you involved there, as well as having a direct line of contact to us. Then, as I mentioned before, that there will be a long-term solution in place. So I'd like to go to the next page.
When was the bill arrive? You said it was retroactive, so in February, look at the January bill, is there any dates? When they send that out?
I don't think we have a date set up yet.
We don't have a date. Once the accounts are all set up, we're in the process of doing that now. A welcome type letter will be sent out, and that'll share our website and, you know, some other information on how to get more information and different ways to pay the bill. And then that'll be followed by the bill.
Gotcha.
We also have a 1-800 number, 24/7 call center. So if people have questions, and there are bilingual operators, so we can answer questions as they come in as well.
Thank you, Don.
Primero están haciendo todas las cuentas a hacer y después le van a sus tarifas, le van a ir, pero no va a ser pero en la parte que le van a mandar de bienvenida de la compañía, van a tener un número que pueden llamar a los operadores en inglés, lo que necesiten, pero eso todavía está estableciéndose. So, empezaron en enero ya, and starting in January, they don't have to pay Sandy anymore.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take over, Sandy.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to set up like an envelope,
Yeah.
so they go withdraw it automatically. The account
Oh, like auto deposit? Don?
or.
Set up everything.
Can you repeat the question?
Was, are they going to be able to set up automatic deposit, automatic payment?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, if there are several different ways to pay, that welcome letter will describe that. While we'll have the account information, individuals can set up their account so that they can make those payments and have access to information like their account balance and that kind of thing.
Direct deposit available. So another big part of, obviously, we talked about with Sierra Vista is that financial assistance that Gross and Pritchard would be able to help out with. We are also, I did want to mention, applying for arrearage funding. I'm not sure if you received that in the past, but so it was basically help with having bills back paid through grant funding during the COVID period, they're calling it, because it's this period from July 2021 was up until end of last year. So they just extended that period to be all of last year now. So we've already applied on behalf of Sierra Vista to try and get some of that money reimbursed. And that'll go straight into the account that we have set up for Sierra Vista. So with the financials, we have a dedicated account purely for Sierra Vista, that just focuses on operations. As I mentioned, none of that money comes out to us or anything, it's just internally owned system. But that's where all those type of money, customer billing and everything will go.
You survey they. Because a lot of the issues we have sometimes, especially like during the summer, it stops working.
Yeah.
I think that, was it like 2 years ago, it was down for 2 weeks. You know, is that gonna be an issue again, with you guys coming in?
So we have a contract operator that I think Ben lives about 30-40 minutes away, so he'll be able to get out there reasonably quickly. He'll be on call, yeah. Golden State has an emergency number that you can call as well. You'll be able to let them know if there's a leak, any issue with the pumps, anything going on, and then we'll have Ben get out there pretty quickly.
Y enseguida arreglar. Como el problema que tiene que ser todo, como funciona y operan.
Sí,
Eso no va a pasar más.
Lo que sí nos preocupa es poner como los filtros para agua potable.
The water,
The PAU system.
like that's like their.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
Yes.
Por water,
Absolutely.
Those filters to be in place.
porque pueden hacer muchas cosas en las casas. Quedan mal, o buen valor, se servicio mejor. Lo que tenemos ahorita no valen nada.
It's very much worth it.
Understandable. No, and we want it to obviously get to a level as quickly as possible that they're able to start using that water. That's the goal. So like, so I could just like to move to the post administrator plan slide there for you. It's just the next slide. It's the post, yeah, administrator. It's one before the picture. Yeah.
One before. On this side. Go 2 pages forward.
Post.
No, the other way.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Let me see here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, we have a post administrative plan that we'll be developing, and that's when Provost and Pritchard will be able to step away and what that long-term solution will be for Sierra Vista. That'll be, we'll have a full evaluation of the system and what the status is after those 2 years or potentially longer, once Provost and Pritchard wrapping up their assistance, and we want to make sure everything's in full operating order. We'll have a plan as well, long-term supply that will likely look at consolidation. I'm not sure how much that's being discussed throughout the community. Have they discussed much about consolidation with the city of Delano, of having a pipe run out?
¿Han hablado de eso en la ciudad? De tener una
Una conexión con.
Ella habla muchas veces.
any to the land?
We had big meeting.
Yeah. Mhm. They were charging a lot of money. They want billions of dollars in the next one.
For the 4 years.
Yeah.
So they were constructed. Well, at the moment, yeah, there's a lot of contaminants with Sierra Vista as well, so that would be reliable supply with the city at least, that they have a lot of resources to get in. But this funding that we'll be able to utilize as well, will be able to cover any infrastructure costs. So the city probably was saying that they want your pipes to be a certain size and certain standard, have meters. They probably wanted connection fees as well, things like that. That's all eligible for this grant funding. So even connection fees into the city, they'll be eligible under state funding. So this is better. Yeah. It's a really good opportunity for a lot of communities that just aren't able to afford these crazy fees. I mean, if somebody came to me asking for $14,000 or whatever the connection is, I would be able to do that. So it's a big burden. So that would be all covered in her long-term. And just to get into a little bit of the work that we have going on at the moment, so we were made administrator about this year at Vista, about September of this year, so it's just been getting all of our ducks in a row, getting set up to administer the operating system. One of the first pieces. So one of the first pieces that we've been getting together is a community accountability and engagement plan. We are accountable to the community at the time, but then it is also vice versa. The community is accountable for their own water system. So we've been making a plan to just make sure that we are getting in touch with you at all times, setting up these meetings quarterly, making sure we have a good plan for how we're going to be in touch all the time, setting up, emergency line that I mentioned, just different methods of contact you guys. We also, that's a big part of why we really want to have everybody's contact information, so your phone numbers or email address, whichever works best for you. So that if there are any issues with the system, you're able to reach out to us. But then if we have any issues that we need to reach residents about, we're able to have a direct line.
Nosotros queremos establecer una relación muy fuerte con ustedes, queremos que estén la participación de la comunidad, que si nos digan si hay problemas que quieren y para que así que ellos no el programa de administración. So, por favor, le digan a sus vecinos, a todo el mundo, que esto está implementando, bueno, que es para ayudar a ustedes, pero al mismo tiempo tienen la responsabilidad de la comunidad de participación. Porque si no sabemos lo que necesitan, no los podemos ayudar.
Creo que con este programa que está haciendo ahorita, yo pienso que vamos a pasar la voz a todos los vecinos, van a perder el miedo.
Y que pierdan el miedo, ya.
Porque ahorita muchos no vinieron porque no han pagado. Muchos, que serán los varios ahí no han pagado. Por eso no han venido, pues no quisieron venir. Pero
No, es que no les importa.
ustedes no han pagado.
Yo les dije, ahí va a haber no les llegó el papel, no.
Es que
Yo no lo vi y a mí me llegó.
todo el mundo va a tener sus opiniones. Everybody will have their own opinions and bipolar and everything, pero lo importante es que como una comunidad, todo el mundo tiene que querer lo mejor para todo el mundo.
Sí,
¿Verdad?
a mí el papel me llegó a mi casa.
Sí.
Entonces yo les avisé a los de los lagos y le avisé también a Mori. Y al Mori, por eso están ellos aquí, les avisé. Y le avisé al otro que el relleno se paga, según.
¿Quién es aquella?
El que está al otro lado, a la tercera casa. Tú vivías al otro lado, donde vivías antes.
O los
Sí,
están
no, ¿dónde vivías tú antes?
no,
Al otro.
sí, ya.
Sí, sí, entre medio de
Yeah.
yo también le avisé a la señora.
Because I haven't paid what this means.
Pero él se tiene que intentar. Él trabaja.
Pero pienso que ahora con esto va a ser mucho mejor para todos.
Es mucho mejor para ella, está estresando un cielo, quiere la descobrante.
Ella debe
Sí.
dinero ahorita,
Sí,
debe mucho dinero ahorita. Yo le digo a ella que hable, si le puede, su estado le puede reforzar algo.
Lo que ustedes tienen que decir a sus vecinos que tienen que empezar de cero. Olvídate del
Correcto.
pasado. Yeah, everything that happened with Sandy, it's in the past. Let's start from zero.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
que le hicieron.
And if you,
Que le dieron
so they will,
que le
they
hicieron.
will like dispute bills. If they haven't received a bill from the state, then we won't be chasing them up for any past bills. So, but nobody needs to be worried about us coming up and chasing up thousands of dollars or anything.
Sí.
It's one of
Pero
the cero.
ella está en droga, ¿no? Ustedes no pagaron en droga.
O sea, debe dinero.
Oh.
Ella debe dinero.
De los
dinero.
Está en droga.
Because of the tenants that have been paid.
She owes to the test water, she owes to the test water, bills.
Yeah, so I think you spoke with Clarissa at our office today. Yeah, so she let me know and we followed up on that and we're able to, if you provide those bills to us, we're able to get those back paid a lot. So I can look at. Yeah,
Yes.
Shoulder, no longer.
we want to get, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We asked Tom if he wanted to continue working on the project, but he said he's ready to retire, so. He was tired, but we did let him know that we wanted to get him paid for some of his past efforts. So there's a particular date, it's the middle of 2022, I think it was, that those bills can go back to when we have an agreement and say. So I'll take a look at the invoices if you're able to provide those to us, you can email them or, that'd be great. I should take a copy of that. Yeah, we can look at getting those paid.
Y empezar todo de cero.
Sí, y la compañía nosotros ellos van del gas. Pero empezando en enero, es un principio nuevo para todo el mundo. Y lo que tienen que entender es que le gusta o no le gusta, no tienen sus propias diferencias, whatever the difference or how feelings they have, this will be implemented, va a ser implementado. So, el estado de California está poniendo en pie y va a decir, ustedes van a tener agua buena, you're going to have good water, that's what the state is saying, right? Whether you like it or not. And you will have good bills. I mean, bills. And those bills will have to be paid. Todo el mundo va a tener que
Sí, sí.
y ya no es con, y va a ser con el estado. So, es una relación mutual. Sí, eso es lo que tienen que decir.
Todos corran por mí. Listo pagar.
Y los pagos serían,
Y van a ser retroactivos, o el pago de enero va a ser en febrero, pero eso no va a estar a mitad de febrero. Sí.
sí, pero vas a pagar como no, mi amor.
Él está mandando una carta a la compañía. Sí. Entrar con tu tarjeta y puedes hacer sus pagos automáticamente. Y tiene más de que pueden llamar y van a tener personas en el teléfono. De nada. When the bills will be and how they can go about paying them. Once they're implemented.
Yeah, those will all be mailed out. So if you do have a different mailing address, please leave that with us so that we have the correct address. Yeah, yeah.
So ustedes tienen su carta que le llega pero no ¿vieron?
Yo la devolví.
Yes. We can take her. So, tenemos la dirección y todos los contactos.
Yo la llené.
I need to correct it because I put the.
Whichever you prefer, yeah.
Y también comentarios públicos. Their English, comentarios en inglés, que es lo que usted, como usted dijo, yo quiero algo estable, rápido, like the public comment, so they can, yeah, they hear those and, yeah.
Es que también eso es por una de las razones que si yo quisiera financiar mi casa o lo que sea, venderla. Así como está, no puedo ni financiarla ni venderla.
Okay.
Porque es ilegal el agua que tenemos. El estado, los bancos no te califican por ningún financiamiento ni una venta ni compra. Yo eso lo sé porque lo he estado investigando y con el condado, con ella, he estado hablando, tengo varios meses hablando con ella. Todavía ayer llamé a Tom y no pasó nada, no pasa nada. Y el agua que nos están proveyendo, self enterprise, no califica como para ponerla en un refinance o una venta o una compra.
So,
Si yo vendo mi perdón.
que estos próximos años, la administración, que esa agua va a ser legal. They will have legal drinking water within the next 2 years, so they can have those options to lease or sell their home. They can't do it because it's outside of.
One guarantee 2 years.
Yeah,
When you
por lo menos 2 años que este programa.
Vista.
Sí. No garantizado, pero buscando soluciones.
Sí.
They're looking for solutions within the next 2 years.
Sí.
Porque si nunca había estado, there was never anything this before. So por lo menos están empezando para una solución.
Sí, el Estado está dándole a ustedes el trabajo
Ujú.
para hacer las cosas.
Sí,
Sería perfecto.
en muchas comunidades.
Yeah.
And all this information that we're providing as well, you see the website there, that's all gonna be put up onto the website as well. So any survey forms, any contact information, agendas for the meeting. Yeah, you go on there, there will be a site, you can click on for Sierra Vista Association, it says right there. And you'll be able to access all this information as well. That'll have, when our meeting dates are gonna be, everything that we mail out to you will also be available there. Yeah.
Toda la información. Y ahí va a tener, si, cuándo va a ser el próximo. Cualquier tipo de actualización, chequen nuestra página. No se olviden de nosotros. So us representing so check
All the
the
documents we share.
your phone. You will be able to see when the next meeting is, any update that will has the administrator program. Right? Check that.
One, so I did want to check as well, just, what is the easiest way, like, for the community to be reached? Is it email, mail? Because at the moment, we're just mailing everything to everybody's homes, we weren't sure. Is there what preference? And then we plan on hosting meetings in person. I normally prefer myself to have meetings in person, but is there a preference to have it online with everyone? I'm not sure.
¿Cuál es la forma más fácil de llegar a la comunidad? De impactar que la gente quiera tener esa responsabilidad de
I would say in person.
in person.
Do not have the ability.
Sure.
Nomás
For
que
technology, yeah.
hay muchos que va a estar difícil porque los padres
¿Por qué?
no existen ahí.
¿Por qué?
No existen ahí. Que vive al otro lado de conmigo no existen. Ni al otro lado. Están los renteros. Pero los renteros no arreglan nada.
They're saying that the people that
De todos modos,
the people that are renting, they don't have that kind of involvement because they don't care, they're just there temporarily. Yeah, they're not home.
toda la gente vive ahí, los dueños de las casas, todos, menos esos dos.
Okay,
Oh,
so.
like two renters.
Ni yo, pero yo todos yo ahí asisto.
So, todos los dueños de casa, ¿cómo es la mejor forma de comunicarse con ellos?
Pues,
Por correo electrónico, por mandar de carta de correo. Canta el botón.
sí, sí, como ellos allí viven unos, pero no existen. No existen los que están de este lado, y desde aquel otro lado viven en el rentero. Y le dije, yo tal, le dije a mi rentero, dígale a Richard que está.
Pero que sea, que no importa la
Pero
circunstancia.
gracias que sean renteros,
Que
que
sean-
tengan un interés.
Tiene que-
Ellos están haciendo por el bien de ellos, un ejercicio que ellos están prestando, tienen.
Yo le dije muchas veces, oiga, dígale a su Richard que pague el agua, porque a mí me dijo la señora que ustedes no están pagando el agua, yo se la pago a él, pero él no la está
Or about to reach the people that are renting, like, how do you actually pay their bills because they're like already like another additional bill.
Pues ahora lo importante es hacerles saber de que de aquí para atrás no van a rendir, y necesitan ellos ponerse al día y estar presentes de aquí para adelante, es lo que van a contar, ya para la cocina, es bien malo.
Que pierdan miedo de que no dan de pasado. Sí,
Y que todo va,
todo, y que en ese momento se va a implementar. So they need, they're just gonna let them know that there will not be church. They do.
Cierren el agua. Que se pongan el table.
Anything, but if there was.
Okay. But-
Cierren testigos.
Well, I was thinking, what they're concerned, like, what about the people that have been paying? How are they gonna be paying? They don't see why they will pay now when they haven't been enforced before. So what is the difference?
So part of it is that we will be setting up governance and management plan and policies. So part of that is a shut off policy that could be established in the future, and we'll be looking towards that. We don't, we don't want to do that straight away because that's not fair when we get people.
digo de que vamos y personalmente estamos el mercado. Y ahora el internet, todos tienen teléfono, todos tienen correos electrónicos, porque si no tienen correos electrónicos, tienen teléfono. Entonces, ahí está la solución. Es la comunicación va a estar ahí.
La comunicación
Sí.
y la realidad.
En el pueblo, si usted dura 2 meses, ustedes al tercer mes se cortan el agua.
Sí.
O sea,
Pues sí, es lo que entiendo, sí.
sí, por el primer mes, o sea, está un
Estaría bien si pueden empezar este mes, en enero, a empezar a trabajar en el pozo, a sacarle más trabajo.
Tienes que tener que al descargar el pozo no vas a tener agua.
Y no vamos a quedar sin nada. You know, they're just gonna start immediately working on the well, that, like that, which will.
Está rápido, está rápido.
Pero, o si eso hacemos lo que el presente es establecer las regulaciones, todos los días su cuenta de agua y esa, que a lo mejor si no pagan su agua en unos cuantos meses, las tienen más de ver que es más. Exactamente.
ok, 2 meses al tercer mes ya se
So, eso también es una cosa que uno le tiene que decir a todo el mundo que vive aquí. Que de ahora no va a ser free.
Es que de
Sí, y no es justo, no es justo que todo el mundo
Yeah, absolutely.
Porque ahora lo importante es que la señora ya no va a tener ese peso, ya y
And we really team that we work with to make sure that when we develop a shut off policy, that will be completely by the book and legal, so that they won't be, that won't be able to be challenged or anything.
Sí, y cuando se salga esta nueva regla de que le van a cortar el agua, todo va a ser legal, todo va a ser por y va a haber un estado que le dan la autonomía a nosotros para poder cortar.
yo pienso que esta junta a los que estamos aquí nos va a servir muchísimo.
Sí.
Si nosotros mismos, como vecinos, pasamos una buena comunicación con nuestros otros vecinos, a la próxima junta, posiblemente ya somos 3, 4 más agregados a la junta. Entonces es como se va a ir mejorando esa cosa. Toda la comunidad se va a beneficiar al final de cuentas de todo esto.
Absolutamente.
Pero todo está en la comunicación.
Communication, that's so they're going to take the good word to their neighbors that this is a positive thing, that this is a new implementation. And that this will help to better the community. So next meeting, hopefully we'll have more attendees, more community engagement. Y es lo que queremos, que todo el mundo esté involucrado, que sepan lo que está pasando, que traten de estar aquí y que tienen que seguir las reglas, porque al final nosotros le van a dar mucho mejor a todos ustedes. Y que van a tener esas reglas que es una ciudad.
Sí, está bueno.
Bien.
Ahí ustedes son 60 bolas por pagarlos, aquí pagamos más de 100.
Sí.
La segunda que tienes. La segunda que tienes.
Y luego
sometimes they would make it, but it is your water and your community, so you have a right to be informed about all this. That's where we want to make sure we're getting the information.
Y que le vecino que esto no es mandatorio, que sí es, que es para su beneficio, y a lo mejor, mientras más venga, mejor va a ser.
Está informado lo que va a pasar.
Sí, pues sí.
Para que sepan que le
Mira,
va a
eso es bueno para que viene.
Sí, exactamente.
Esa es muy
Todo
buena.
mejora.
Y las propiedades suben de valor.
Absolutely.
Ahorita donde propiedad, aunque sea quiera vender, no puede vender. Llega el calé y no puede.
¿Quién sabe? Los vecinos cómo compraron.
Really tough.
Ustedes compraron y el otro.
También hasta yo, todos compramos, pero hay una información que ha salido que he investigado, que voy y me di cuenta que cosas que no puedo vender de esa casa por problemas de agua. Si yo la vendo así y algo pasa en el futuro, puede regresar contra mí. Yo me puedo demandar. Si algo pasa si yo vendo mi casa y si la vendo a alguien que no sepa y empieza a tomar agua y se enferma,
Ahora eso es
pero,
lo
¿me entiendes?
Sí, eso es lo que debemos de, vamos a hablar de eso.
Eso es
Todas esas cosas. Ajá.
Es lo que yo por eso,
Ahorita en la actualidad, ya no hay cómo de
No,
ya en botella y
yo sí.
Sí, todas van a hacer para el único que usamos eso, pero the drinking, well, most people don't drink their water, but they still use it for,
ya
laundry.
ya
Because pero no deberían cocinar con eso.
Yeah.
Cocinar
Here, well, 600 feet, we drink water. You know, we tasted it already, it's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna move to the water system reports. We did start sampling again at the well already at Sierra Vista. So we did get results back for nitrates and they are still above the NCL, so the maximum contaminant limit that's set by the state of California. So it was about a 14 milligrams per liter, which the state limit is 10. Yeah, so it's still over that limit.
So, ya le hicieron ya los test al pozo y los resultados que salieron fue que tiene el 14% del máximo nivel de contaminante y el estado de California el máximo que pueden tener para poder usar es 10. So, ahora tienen el
4 más.
4 más, que es bastante, es casi 150%, 140%.
Sorry, that's not it. It's 14 milligrams per liter, not percent. It's, I don't know what it is. Milligrams per liter.
Miligramos por
Sí,
litro. Sí, 14 miligramos por litro. So, cuando le hacen el testado, sí, eso es lo que sale en total.
And the minimum is 10.
Y el mínimo que puede tener para
The maximum, sorry.
el máximo que puede tener es 10. So, 14 estamos más. Y eso es lo que va a tratar de solucionar esos niveles. Lower those levels is the goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. And one of the other goals, so as B said, contaminants there. So the state has monthly sampling that we have to complete. There's a whole range of other sampling requirements. Connection control specialist, he's certified that. That's basically any cross connection points in your system can be things like hose bits and other contamination points, so faucet in your house. Mainly these will be focused on ones that are outdoors, but Ben will be working to conduct a survey of those in your neighborhood. So we'll give you notice before any of that happens, but that would basically involve him coming around and looking at all those points, taking inventory of the water system.
Ven que hablaron que es el técnico que están haciendo los test del agua. Él va a venir a su casa eventualmente a ver cuáles son los lugares que pueden ser introduciendo más contaminantes al agua. Pero son partes de afuera del agua. Son partes de afuera de su casa, como las conexiones de la manguera y cosas así. So, él va a ver y si tiene Pero le van a dar, yeah, they will give them a lot, like notice, right? Le van a dar, le van a decir cuando van. Si lo ven, tratando de buscar todas las soluciones de cuáles son las razones por qué están contaminados.
Muchas casas que no nunca han nada podrían poder.
A lot of houses that have never changed their. Yeah.
There should usually be any potential points of contamination. But,
Imagínense los años que
Usted
tienen.
vive con eso.
Que tienen tubería original, ahorita ya sabemos que ya.
All the houses are.
Nosotros que estamos aquí en la década, está hecha de 79, de 79.
Yes, information. And right now they're going to be an acre to get simple set. And these are 3 acres. So it's just- Just let get going.
It's tricky. It's tough to see.
Oh. El buen pues yeah, no, I need separate the one to have an extra lot.
Right.
They told me, well, we can do, we can.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are allowed to sell the house of about 400 foot, 200 foot in.
Yeah.
And it's allowed to then we be an acre. Like, well, for both houses. And this one, they have a 3/4 acre.
Yeah, it's like what's already there.
Yeah.
You're okay, but if you're trying to build a new house.
Well, they can't do anything with the existing house.
Yeah.
They try to do something,
Yeah,
then they kept it.
yeah, I was trying to divide it in parts. But can do nothing, yeah. So.
Keep going with emergency response of the system. So as I mentioned, Golden State has an emergency phone number that you can call now, that is set up. John, correct me if I'm wrong, that's already existing with Golden State, so Sierra Vista would be able to call and at least have that. Like, just refer to us.
Yes, I don't, because we don't have people signed up for accounts already. We would, it'd be very difficult for us to provide too much information, but they could take a message and pass it on to me or you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the emergency line for Golden State is already set up. So any performance issues with the system, you can leave a message with them and that'll be able to get to us. I've also left my business cards over there, so you can go my direct line there as well. But in the meantime, that will be there and that message will make it to our operator. So if there's any issues with the system, if you have any billing issues, once you set up your customer account, once you receive that welcome letter and set up your account, then that'll be able to be an emergency line to contact for billing purposes as well. Your contact information.
Después que ya entrando enero, si hay algún problema de emergencia, como el sistema que está funcionando, ven, ya está funcionando, o hay un problema también, pero pueden llamar enseguida si no tienen problema. ¿Ok? Y después que ya empiecen sus tarifas, sus nuevos, también van a tener un número entre todas las cartas que le van a llegar, va a tener un número de contacto. Y para que ustedes puedan llamar y hacer todo su cuenta nueva y todo eso. ¿Ok? Y ustedes van a ser responsables por todo el mundo, cada casa va a ser responsable. It's in hands in the fact that every single household will be responsible for setting up their own account. Yeah.
And we've also developed an emergency response plan for the system. So that's basically a standard procedure of operations that once an issue has gone wrong with the system, we have this SOP, standard operating procedure on how to proceed with that. So say there's a leak, we have all the phone numbers of people to call and how the operator will be proceeding with that in the emergency response plan. That is posted to the Secure Vista website, the administrative one. So if you ever want to review that, any of those plans, you're welcome to look on the website. That'll be there. It has a list of suppliers that we'll be utilizing as well, operators, the different staff on our team, anybody that can be called in emergencies, contacted for different roles. So that will be on the website.
Eso para más que si ustedes quieren saber toda esa información, pero toda la información está disponible que se la quieren ver. Pero la compañía de Focus Pressure, como el equipo que va a ser funcional, ellos están ya implementando y están planeando para tener todas las cosas listas para que no haya problemas en el futuro. Y eso de cartas financieras del Estado, para que ayudarlos y que podamos siempre marchen adelante.
So then moving to water rates and billing, we discussed that quite a bit. They're right there that we'll be utilizing with that $60 previously standing. Sandra, I wasn't sure if you had any inside knowledge on the $60. How was that developed as the rates? Was that just decided on by the association or?
Yeah. When we have vice president.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if that was recorded anywhere in any meeting notes or anything like that? What we've seen in the past is just that $60 has been the bill that's being issued, the water rate, which is.
Sure.
Okay. If there's any written evidence of that, that'd be really helpful just for legal purposes. So we.
Yeah, there was a couple of meetings.
Yeah.
Couple
Okay.
that she have,
Turn
and
that.
she requests everybody to go, a couple of people go, a couple of people.
It's tough. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and she requests me, we can go higher in the bill.
Yeah.
Recently, I go, you know what,
Okay.
we should wait up until we fix all these, the bills that she needs to collect. And I go, wait up on $60, she asked me. Then they go up and then, but I told her, let's go down until we fix all this thing going on. But nobody shows up.
That's
So-
in Spanish.
Yeah.
So,
You have to.
good, everybody.
Yeah.
So that was great.
And everyone's concerned, you know, and they care about this issue, so that should speak for itself too.
Absolutely. So we covered a lot with the billing. Is that pretty clear on how we'll be proceeding?
Yeah.
Did anybody have any other questions on
No, we
that?
good, we good.
Good. Then there's financial help. We've already gone over that as well. The billing like that's in January, so beginning of next month, that'll be a retroactive bill received into the month. As I said, we'll have a shut-off policy that we'll develop, but that won't be something we'll start straight away. If you guys first bill, we'll have a warming up period. We'll start trying to get this process. And then there's gonna be a few kinks to work out, getting sure everybody is all signed up for billing. So we're working through all this. Yeah.
Todas estas reglas de que le van a cortar el agua si no pagan sus bills, no van a ser implementadas enseguida, pero sí van a ser implementadas
En el futuro.
en el futuro. En el futuro de este año. Le van a dar un periodo de que pagas, establece haga sus cuentas y esa oportunidad. Pero ya sí tienen que decirle que todo el mundo va a ser responsable por pagar su tarifa.
Porque la ciudad cuando te corta el agua, te la cortan, tienes que pagar todo tu bill y te cobran $25 extra por el
Thank for reinstating your water.
Typically, have a shut-off fee. Yeah, typically there is a small shut-off.
que así la gente me entiende.
Así va a tener, so, sí, como así mismo como la ciudad va a ser, sí se va a hacer la regla que va a tener
Las casillas están aquí, luego pasa aquí, hay un ranchito también, no sé cómo se llama este ranchito, está aquí pagando la canela ahí, yo estaba con un señor que vendía mis animales, y un día no teníamos agua, y le dije, no tenemos agua, se me olvidó, y eran $30 por año, agua de canal. No pagamos. Y luego les cerraron con una cinta de esas que
$30 a year.
ya puedes cortar y no puedes cortar hasta que no vaya el personal.
That didn't pay us for.
Y allí, como
Yeah. So, sí,
veces que
va a haber una tarifa extra por recargos.
bien, está muy bien.
Sí, y así que vamos a tener que,
Sí.
si no vamos
Es un recargo.
Ahorita ya si se pueden decir a los demás que no tengan miedo, que ya se hacer todo.
Sí, pues sí, debía. Sí.
Pasa por la opinión.
Exactly.
Yo no el otro día leí un clip de amigo del carro, van parqueado.
So the last coming activities I'm looking ahead, and I'll keep advancing. We are almost done. Thanks for bearing. But
Porque en lugar de poner Melendres, puso Mendoza. Y yo no soy Mendoza. Y no pensé que me había venido, no. Y que llegan, mi buzón llega acá desde muchos. Hay mucha gente que yo no sé ni quién son. La regreso.
Gracias por la. Okay.
So the last few points, just the major projects and plans. We've kind of discussed that a little bit. So self-help enterprises, Joe Hyde will be assisting us with looking at that long-term solution. Because of the checks and balances the state wants, they want to make sure that we're not doing all of the engineering work because case that Ferguson Pritchard is drilling up extra work for themselves or anything like that. So they normally have another engineer assist the long-term. And that's just.
There's a community development, or community specialist with self-help enterprise.
Yeah.
So something running the TA.
Yeah. So the technical assistance, which is the long-term solution that we'll be looking at, self-help enterprises and Joe Hyde will be running. So very.
Los proyectos del
So he'll still be working with us and we'll make sure that we're getting all the information to you that they're requesting or working on. Yeah, so just keep in mind, we'll be working closely with self-help enterprises if you hear from them at all.
Yeah, que va a ayudar con su plan del futuro. Él va a ser otro.
Yeah, right now I might need a letter from you guys because we're trying to refinance the house moving, but we won't pass because of water. You know,
Yeah, I think that's possible at the moment, right? Because we still don't have anything.
yeah, I thought we talked to enterprise, I mean to
Maybe we can do something, once our like saying that there is a new system that has been
Yeah,
implemented by the
yeah,
state.
yeah.
Water.
Right,
And next.
that's perfect, that's perfect.
Yeah.
If you can do me a letter like that, it'll be perfect for me. Because that's what we need. Basically.
Okay.
It's something that could possibly be.
Discuss it. Yeah, we'll just have to talk to the attorney that we're able to give you something that's
Yeah,
not
something like that,
legally
just get it
binding.
back, get it back.
Yeah.
Just a notice.
Yeah, just notice that, you guys working on it.
In Spanish. Yeah, I didn't recommend that in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So esta
Oh,
Yeah,
se pone y nosotros nos contratamos para eso. So, él tiene que decirle que ahora hay una compañía que le contrataron para implementar este programa. Y que este es un programa de Estado.
eso es bien, puede llevar a todos.
Ujú. Y aquí está.
A todos los puede llevar.
La página de internet está aquí. Y aquí está la parte que está en inglés también, se necesita para financiar. So, y puedes tener la tarjeta de Hamish para que le diga que eres el administrador. So,
Muy bien.
basically providing like a state water board and saying that there is a company now hired to implement.
Yeah, that's what we need, basically, that's what it's simple.
yeah,
It's not big, team, but yeah, this is what it is. I need it.
that should be, that outlines everything that we're planning on
That's
doing,
great,
so that
yeah.
should, yeah.
And that's Claro, pues, les puede ayudar a ellos, a todos nos puede ayudar.
And I can email a copy as well, if that helps. Just leave your email address. And
Yeah, I give.
So it'd be great. And then, yeah, we've already discussed it, but the long-term solution we're looking at with the city of Delano, and just that's what we'll be working towards for the show. That's a lot. We've also already got the community engagement with it, so we will be hosting these meetings quarterly. So the next one, I believe, we'll be looking at being sometime likely in March. We'll make sure a notice gets sent out to you. Does this location work well for everybody?
Yeah,
Everyone in here? This is good.
Está bien.
All right.
Pienso que para otra administración hay todo.
Dice, cada trimestre de So, en marzo está próximo. Y ahí le vamos a dar también las actualizaciones de todas las cosas que han cambiado, de todas las cosas que más planes más so, just everything in our updated solid plans, updates and so they know.
Yeah.
Vamos a mandarle cartas de porque todavía es una fecha. But in the evening, most likely, right?
This evening. Yeah. People have.
Yes. Yeah. See, like the people that work with it. It's sometimes, okay.
Perfect. Good. And then, yeah, if you leave your email and we can also reach out for that, notify you, and then it'll also be posted on the website as well. Any meeting notes, agendas, the rest. And also, if anybody has any issues with billing when that does start out, tell them that they can come here and ask us any questions. We'll be able to work through it all in person.
Cuando tenga que va a ser en marzo, ya va a tener febrero y marzo, los puede entrar aquí y nosotros le podemos ayudar. Cuando es la próxima reunión, cualquier pregunta o problemas que tienen. Pues si quieren tener alguien que pueda hablar en persona, se quedan en el teléfono. Sí.
Perfecto.
Necesito, antes de que se vayan, confirmar tu correo electrónico porque tienen como letras de jeroglífico.
No, thank you so much. That wraps up everything that I have to discuss. Putting the table now if you have any questions. I know we've talked about a lot. Time for dinner. That'd be great. Thank you all so much for coming. Really appreciate it. It's been fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks so much, everyone online.
Y así quieres. Sí. ¿Qué?
That was the meeting.
All right, bye guys.
This is your email.
Yeah.
You can write it back on my